Hello, viewers. This is the editor of BLiTZ. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Malkevich Alexandrovich. He is the chairman of the board of the New Media Development Fund and head of the Department of Journalism and Media Communications at the Kherson State University. Mr. Malkevich, welcome to this interview.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Nice to speak with a lot of people in Bangladesh. I have to say a few words about myself. Yes, I'm a journalist. I'm a Russian journalist working more than 30 years in our profession. And I am for many years a member of a public chamber of Russian Federation as a big organization of most influential leaders, opinion makers. And yes, in the so-called new regions of our country, for 2.5 years, I worked in Kherson region, in Zaporizhia region, in the Donetsk and Lugansk region. And I was the founder of this, you've mentioned it, I was the founder of the Department of Journalism in the Kherson State University for 2 years. I was the head of it. And now from this September, I am the head of the Department of Public Relations in the Berdyansk Pedagogical University. Yes.
Oh, congratulations for your new position, sir.
Thank you.
So let's begin first with the first question. As you know that since Russia began its special military operations in Ukraine, the Western intelligence agencies have been using Ukrainian media as well several dubious organizations such as NewsGuard in silencing independent media. Our newspaper, BLiTZ, also fell target of these elements, while Ukrainian neo-Nazi media outlet called the New Voice of Ukraine, it accused our newspaper, which is 21 years old with international repute, it accused us of spreading pro-Russian narrative and misinformation about Ukraine. That's what they say. So under such hostility, we call it notorious hostility of the West and its neo-Nazi propaganda machines, in your opinion, how much important is further strengthening the relationship among the independent media within the global South, including Russia?
Thank you very much. I have always advocated, and I'm saying right now, that Russian media and the media of the global South, we have to cooperate closely. This should be some kind of formal and informal connections, exchange of experience, internships, maybe some joint media forums. We have to work together to fight for freedom of press, for freedom of speech. Maybe we can organize even some kind of joint journalistic competitions. That is, we must cooperate closely in a situation where in the West, including Western social media platforms, we are suppressed, we are censored, blocked, and even destroyed on their platforms. So we don't have possibilities to tell the truth, to tell our point of view on these platforms. And I don't speak even about Russian journalists. Any journalist, any blogger in the world who has his point of view is in the same situation, has same problems. And so that's why I speak about some kind of formal or informal association. If, for for example, 100, 200, 300, 500 media outlets, we could conduct a fairly categorical dialogue with a number of international organizations, including demanding impartiality in covering events taking place in Ukraine and around Ukraine. This is my point of view about connection, about relationships between Global South and Russia in this media field.
I absolutely agree with you, sir. And since you are not only a senior journalist, you are also a teacher of journalism. So you are creating journalists. So I fully agree with you, sir, that we can form a kind of the association of the journalists of the Global South. And we can also organize regularly, let's say once a month at least, some kind of the interaction of the journalists of the Global South on issues related to Russia, issues related to Global South. And if not possible to travel, we can organize online discussions like
absolutely.
this.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
Yes, sir. So now I would like to also seek your opinion that what do you think? Why these Western countries, especially American deep state, they are trying to silence the voice who do not subscribe to what Americans want to say against Russia and President Vladimir Putin? Because especially, for example, our newspaper BLiTZ, we don't subscribe to what they want us to say. We are telling the truth. And that's why they are continuously attacking us through NewsGuard and this and that. So, I mean, why they are so much afraid of us?
The West built his repressive machine for a long time, including also in terms of monitoring public opinion. That is, here we are not only talking about blocking unbiased information about Russia and from Russia. This can be applied to any undesirable state. And I spoke before that on Western, or so-called Western social platforms, in their social media, they can easily block anybody with another point of view, without any rules. And speaking about this repressive machine, we saw all this, for example, in Venezuela, or in situation about Venezuela in the Western media. We saw it in Syria, in Iran, when Western so-called deep state chooses a victim who is not ready to reconcile, capitulate, stand on their knees, then the full power of all available tools is activated. And this is the formation of a negative image in the media, in social networks. Therefore, this is a big problem. And also you in Bangladesh also saw it several times about the situation in your country, how it was described in Western media, in the Western media, social media platforms. That is why, of course, I would like some kind of effective working interstate structure to take the place of the absolutely bankrupt United Nations. Because we have this United Nations in New York. You know that a lot of people cannot participate in the events under the UN logo. So about myself, because I am not allowed to enter the United States. So I want to say, of course, okay, I don't want to see New York. I don't like this city, but I want to participate in the United Nations forum or conference. I want to have a speech. I want to explain the situation, but I am not allowed. And you see also that all the initiatives of the United Nations. They are nothing. Nobody in the world takes serious this organization. So now we have to work in other directions. For example, SCO or BRICS, they are really developing in this direction of a new world and a new policy and new model of the world.
Sir, first of all, congratulations to you that you cannot enter the United States. It proves that you are a patriot. And as you say, sir, about United Nations, for many years, I've been saying that United Nations is a dirty diaper, and it must be disposed of. United Nations has become a lapdog of the United States. So we don't expect anything good from the United Nations. And also, sir, as you say, I'd like to humbly draw your kind attention to something, that the Western media or the so-called social media, Western, they are very much united. They are working together. But unfortunately, in the global South, media in the global South, I don't find any unity. We may have unity, but there is no connecting point between ourselves, within ourselves. This is very important point. Although the population, the wealth, the education level, everything in global South is much higher than the rest of the other part. So I mean, sir, it doesn't matter whether
I will interrupt you for a minute. You're absolutely right. But they have the image. Yes, they have the image of a wonderful West, very honest and very intellectual people. But it's not the truth. The truth is that Russia, global South, a lot of countries in the world, they're extremely normal. They're standing on the platform of traditional values and with very intellectual people. But we have to fight for this every day.
Absolutely, sir. And you see, sir, the West, and their media, I call them corporate media cartel. They are afraid of President Vladimir Putin. They are afraid of you. They also are afraid of my newspaper plates, our newspaper plates, because we are on the correct side. And the image they have built, it's based on lies. The Western image is absolutely based on lies. And it's not that Western deep state has been only conspiring against Russia. They are also conspiring against other countries in the global South. As you know, they are also running propaganda against India. They have done something wrong with my country, Bangladesh, very recently. So, I mean, they want to become the master of the universe. They don't believe in freedom of expression at all. No, in the United States, in America, we know that there is a naked censorship on social media.
Yes.
We know how the Joe Biden, he has attacked his electoral opponent with an assassination attempt. And if something like that would happen in global South, it will remain breaking news in the Western media for weeks and months. So, and then even the Donald Trump, he called America a banana republic. It's not me, not you. That Donald Trump, he is calling his country a banana republic, and actually America is truly a banana republic, no doubt. Now, sir, on June 27th, during the debate with Joe Biden, Donald Trump said that Ukraine is losing the war and running short of soldiers. And it is true. So under such situation, my question is, until now, why the United States and its NATO allies are emphasizing on sending additional amount of billions of dollars to give Ukraine, when they also know that this war, Russia is actually winning the war?
Thank you very much. As for American presidents and their statements, I have also spoken about this many times. Ukraine is a profitable business for the West. The money is sent on credit. They give money to Ukrainian state as a credit. At the same time, some money don't arrive, some are stolen. This is a business. And everything related to weapons is a similar story. That is, Ukraine buys American weapons from the United States also on credit. Military-industrial complex military-industrial complex enterprises operate in both the United States and Europe. They are loaded with orders. In addition, we must honestly say about this, although it sounds cynical. Ukraine was used as a testing ground for the disposal of outdated military equipment, weapons, everything. Just testing ground. And also about old weapons. They sent a lot of old weapons to Ukraine because if you destroy it like that in your own country, it's expensive. And by transferring it to Ukraine, you can also get media hype. So just to say in some ordinary words, you have old tank. You have to destroy it. You need to destroy it. You need to put it away. But you don't want to spend money on this operation. So you take this old tank and tell, oh, Alexander, this is my gift for you. You have to, and then this tank will be destroyed on the battlefield with Russia.
So,
and
sir,
it's also
in this case, Ukraine has become a dumping ground of Western military equipments, materials, Western military hardware.
Absolutely.
It's a dumping ground.
Absolutely. A number of countries have emptied their warehouses of old NATO weapons and warehouses of old Soviet weapons in general. They throw them away to Ukraine.
Meaning, sir,
and therefore,
they have to destroy those military hardware. Instead of destroying, they're sending it to Ukraine, and they are selling, actually, instead of destroying, now they are selling. And Ukrainian people originally are becoming indebted. I mean, they are becoming burdened with the debt. The Ukrainians are dying on one side, and this Western debt, they cannot clear. Maybe in decades, they remain indebted to the Western.
Yes, but we speak about profitable business for the West. And at the same time, you're absolutely right, Ukraine is really losing the war. There is a shortage of fighters, a shortage of people. The economy doesn't exist really. But how can you explain to the world that Ukraine is supposedly waging some kind of people's liberation war when millions of adult men, Ukrainians, are in Canada, in the USA, in Europe? They are not going to return. This is a very bright and clear picture. And so this so-called terrifying PR also fails. Because you cannot tell the world that, oh, this is a liberation war, this is some great battle of all Ukrainians in the world with terrifying Russia. But a lot of Ukrainians, they are running from the country, and millions of Ukrainian men don't want to return and to fight. So this is a lie about this so-called liberation war. It's a business for Zelensky and his company. It's a business for European leaders, a business for American leaders, and for this military-industrial complex.
Yes, sir. Because this Zelensky, we know, you and I both know that Zelensky is one of the topmost corrupt figures in the world. We are aware of his wealth everywhere in the world. And also, you're right that Zelensky and his neo-Nazi cohorts are cooperating with the Americans and the Westerners in running this kind of the business. Zelensky is pushing the Ukrainians towards the battlefield to die, and so that he can keep on making money. Because, sir, as we know, that Zelensky's tenure as the president expired on the May 20th, 2024.
Yeah.
And today, when we are talking, it is September, sir. So meaning we always called him a date expired president. So he is, in other words, technically, if Westerners, they really believe in democracy, then Ukraine is currently ruled by an illegal person. And they are preferring him because he is their most trusted mercenary. So Ukrainians need to also understand this man who is not their president after 20th of May. He does not represent the Ukrainian people. And I can also tell you on record, sir, that Zelensky is waiting for the result of American presidential election on November the 5th. And if Donald Trump wins, I can guarantee that Zelensky will flee Ukraine and land into some of the Western countries where he has already a lot of money he has sent. So this is what I'm feeling pity, sad, sorry for the Ukrainian people, because Ukrainian civilians, they are being used as collateral properties, by this corrupt regime. And what we can expect from a person who is not a president at all. If something happened in Russia, same like this, what is happening in Ukraine, you see all the Western media shouting that Russia is ruled by an illegal president, and Russia has a very legitimate president election, and His Excellency President Vladimir Putin won a landslide. But Western media outlets, they don't want to accept it, because actually Vladimir Putin, the problem with Vladimir Putin is that Westerners, they cannot buy him, they cannot make him afraid, they cannot use him against the people of the Russia, and that's the problem, because President Putin is the patriot. He won't do anything against the people of Russia, but Zelensky is a mercenary. That's the problem. So how we see, sir? I mean, where is that?
It is obvious to me and to many people that Zelensky continues to kill both Ukrainian and Russian citizens in order to remain in power and establish a more brutal dictatorship. Absolutely right. He is an illegitimate president, and the so-called powers of the Verkhovna Rada, of the parliament of Ukraine, will soon expire also. But the worse it is in the country, the better it is. So, for Zelensky, for his team, for this so-called parliament, the situation is the worse is in the country, it's the better for them. Because thanks to this, he closed media, political parties, social movements, took away almost everyone's business and established a dictatorship, just with the flag of war. So if you are against war, if you are against his dictatorship, you are Kremlin's spy, you are Putin's spy, so-called, and also, he closed the church, the Orthodox Church of Ukraine.
Yeah. Sir,
and also, to be honest, I don't see now any options within Ukraine to free themselves from this dictatorship, because the Zelensky's intelligence services are rampant. They throw people in prison even for reading disloyal media, Telegram channels, and so on. You can be put in prison in Ukraine even for like. Under our interview,
Our
for
newspaper is blacklisted in Ukraine for your kind information. I
so
cannot go to Ukraine.
if ordinary Ukrainian people will watch our video, he can be arrested because they told, oh, this is Malkevich, he's in our sanction list, and I am in 10 sanction lists of the United States, Europe, Canada, Australia, Great Britain, Switzerland, and of course Ukraine. So the cruel dictatorship, and so people who are telling, oh, Ukrainians, you have to move, to stand against the dictatorship. No, it's unreal.
Before concluding, because we have reached and in 1 minute, I want your opinion about this, that we know in Afghanistan, the same Americans, they gave weapons to Al-Qaeda to terrorize the world. And now the same Americans are giving weapons to Zelensky, although he is giving weapons to Zelensky not to terrorize Russia only, he is giving weapons to Zelensky to ultimately terrorize the entire Europe and the world. So how do you see? I mean, we have already seen the threat posed by Al-Qaeda, and now do you think Zelensky is now becoming another global terror leader funded by the same element who has created Al-Qaeda?
I think it can be absolutely real because a lot of weapons sent into Ukraine then appear on another markets, and they appear in the hands of terrorists. But I will repeat and repeat again, it's a business for this chain of people. So some people send these weapons, they get a lot of money, Zelensky get money, and problems of ordinary people in Ukraine and problems of the whole country, they're not in the so-called field of interest of all those so-called people.
Sir, thank you so very much for kindly giving your very valuable time to BLiTZ. And before concluding, I'd like to also humbly request you to take some initiatives so that there is a bridge between the media outlets within the global south, and from Bangladesh BLiTZ, we are ready to cooperate with the media outlets in Russia and rest of the global south. And I hope sincerely, sir, we will have you again in this interview in the future, sir.
Thank you very much. I am ready absolutely to some negotiations. You know, we must develop our own platforms, media platforms. We have to cooperate. You know, a big pain for me is, for example, Wikipedia, because in many languages in the world, they are telling and spreading fakes. After the start of this special military operation in Ukraine, Wikipedia showed its overt political bias. This encyclopedia, so-called encyclopedia, has moved away from a neutral tone in favor of emotionally charged articles, promoting a distorted view of historical events. And we have to develop our platforms, our encyclopedia, our messengers.
I fully agree with you. And once again, sir, thank you very much on behalf of BLiTZ, and we will meet again soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.